Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dungeon Masters Forge. And today, as you can tell in the title, we're jumping back into our villain series where we take classes throughout the player's handbook, a little bit extra, and make villains out of them. Today, it's going to be the Bard.
So how do we make them potent? How do we make them a threat? How do we make them evil?
I think we need to start with the archetypes, because Bards all have different colleges. We have, in the player's handbook, I think we've got either 2 or 3. There's lore, there's...
It's lore and something else.
I think it's war or something along those lines. They're more focused on offensive spells and actually dealing more damage. But in Xanathar's Guide, we actually have 2 that stand out to me. We have the College of Swords, which actually makes them pretty comparable to a fighter, especially the Battle Master, because they can spend their Bardic Inspiration on attacks, add damage dice to their attacks, and either boost their AC, add movement. It really makes them potent fighters. But the interesting one is College of Whispers. And I think it really lends itself to actually playing an evil character or throwing it into a villain. Because with the College of Whispers, the description it gives, the flavor, involves them kind of like using their bardic appearance to infiltrate courts, infiltrate inner circles as entertainment or as just this guise of a friend, and then stealing secrets and either using that to crumble the very court that they've infiltrated or just selling it off. And I love that idea.
Everyone's going to be expecting a villain that's going to be able to throw punches, that's going to be able to cast high-level spells, be more damage dealing. No one's going to expect someone super charismatic that you won't be able to deceive them at all because they'll be able to insight you.
Yes. And chances are they'll be able to put up a very good ruse and manipulate the party to their ends.
Yeah.
Which I think would be a great storyline all to its own.
Or manipulate a town,
yeah.
to be fair.
Manipulate pretty much anybody and get their way. I think what would be really fun is if the way the party's introduced to this character is if they hire them or interact with them and manipulate them to get their deeds done. And that just keeps happening until the party eventually finds out their true motives and then is probably disgusted with them.
I like that idea as going as far as, okay, they're being hired by said Bard. What if they just keep running into this Bard throughout the country, more or less?
Yeah.
From city to city. Oh, there's that Bard. Oh, we'll go see him. We liked his show last time. And
yeah. And then...
But it's just him planting seeds of some type of something.
Anything.
Something bad. Some type of coup.
Yeah. He could also be trading secrets, like the flavor text kind of implied. You could have, instead of a Thieves Guild, something akin to the Shadow Broker in Mass Effect, where they don't steal valuables, they steal ideas and secrets and trade them off so that other people can use them as leverage. It's really interesting. There are, as you can tell, loads of ways you can actually interestingly play a villain bard, but we'll get back to actually building this guy. Or girl. Do we want it to be a male or a female? Because you could go
a toss-up.
Yeah, you could go with the femme fatale. Or you could kind of flip that role on its head and have a male fatale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or possibly somebody who's a little bit, what's the word?
Androgynous?
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Cool, I know a word.
Somebody who's a little bit of both and you can't really tell. And that's almost like part of the allure of them.
I like that even better, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally that.
Okay, so them.
Them.
Which means I feel like it's gotta be an elf.
Yeah.
I feel, because elves are supposed to represent the height of beauty and aesthetics.
Timeless.
Perfect poise, a beautiful language that a lot of bards actually go to create their songs because it's so eloquent in words.
But elves are fair game. Because
Yes.
it would be weird to see like a lizard folk bard.
Yeah, just a bit.
Or like a Goliath bard.
It would be very
or
interesting,
just-
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
But for a College of Whispers type of
where
area.
where they are manipulative
Yeah.
and are able to charm their way past anything. you probably want something that immediately, upon looking at this NPC, this character, you go, yeah, that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't immediately be put on your toes by the drow that's walking around town, or the tiefling, or whatever it is.
Yep, totally.
And we kind of have their motivations. Do we want to explore that a little bit more? Why did they get into this? What drives them? And what's their plan as a whole? Because we know they're probably going to steal secrets, or I think that's the direction I was going in. I don't know if you had any strong inklings.
No, I like that.
Okay.
I was just thinking just go the more political route, but if they're dealing with too many secrets, they don't really want to be that much of a public figurehead.
Then a head of a secrets guild or something along those lines.
But I don't know why. Do we want them to be traveling? Like I said earlier, do we want them to be traveling from city to city, or do we want them to have a base of operations in a city where they're deeply rooted, where it would take a very long time to uproot them because they are now kind of a folk hero in that city?
We could say I like that idea more because it offers a real challenge to the players. They have to use charisma and perception against them, and they have to use the Bard's own weapons against them.
Okay.
And it means that they're not going, like, barging through the door, hacking and slashing. They actually have to use their brains a little bit. And
yeah, because they don't want to attack this very well-known public figure, and they don't really want to, like, the whole town likes them.
yeah,
So
and
why
that
would-
information will spread if they
Yeah.
just go ahead and murder this public figurehead. So I think your mileage will vary depending on your party. Some parties and players are going to be all up for that. Some parties are going to be less interested in that kind of mission, but I like the political aspect of it. I was originally thinking a kind of operating from the shadows kind of villain, but if they're a bard, College of Whispers, they want to be publicly acknowledged as a bard,
Yeah.
but just not acknowledged for the fact that they are trading
That
in
there's
secrets
something else.
and using that to their advantage. Okay, so what's their end game? Why are they doing this? We don't necessarily have to come up with how they got into it or why they got into it. Just what are they working towards, and what are the party essentially trying to stop?
Excellent question. Because if it's something where like they want to avenge a family member or something, that doesn't exactly work with them being so public. Because why would they still act as a bard and still perform and all that if, like, their mom was murdered, like, and they're trying to get revenge? Like, it doesn't quite fit to me.
Right.
So then motivations would be money or some type of power.
Yeah, money is a simple motivator. Essentially, they're selling secrets. They found it's probably a lot more profitable to sell secrets than it is to actually sell weaponry or...
They could... Bard could infiltrate a city and sell secrets to the highest bidder outside of the city so that people can come in, take it over.
Oh, okay, almost like they are a spec ops team.
Yep.
That'd be really interesting. And this town, the town that the party are in, is just the...
It's just the next one. It's just
the next
on
one
the
in a
list.
long line of...
Yep.
That's really
There's-
good, I like that.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's just they're going to make a bunch of money by letting the enemy know schedules, I guess, different type of secrets.
Yeah, and it's almost like a hostile takeover without all of the bloodshed.
Yep.
You go in and you blackmail certain families and representatives out, and so that this other family can come in and take it. And it doesn't have to be like enemy kingdoms and things like that. It could just be some other line of the throne that wants to dethrone these guys because they feel they're more entitled or would rule better. And maybe they will. And they're just using this as an end, or a means to an end.
Yep.
Which
Totally.
I like that as well because it gives like a little bit of a moral dilemma. This person's probably doing it for money. They're not great for that, but at the same time, maybe they've improved some things as well.
I don't know what that underlying...
Drive.
Unless it was like maybe not an ancestral thing, but maybe a family lineage thing where like something happened. in the past, and they're trying to not necessarily atone for. Yes.
I've got a great idea. Okay, so let's say all of this land used to be elven territory,
Okay.
and it was taken over by humans.
Okay.
What if what they're really doing is they're just destabilizing the entire region?
Okay.
Because people are fighting over each other. It's what humans do. They love to just tear at each other. They're greedy, they love power, they love money, and this person is using that to their advantage. Okay, you want to hire me to destabilize these people? All right, well, it's going to cost you. And all the meantime, they're gathering secrets and blackmail against both families,
That's good.
so that eventually they can take over everything and reclaim it for elves.
That's good.
So it's
'Cause
kind of, it's a noble purpose through just like evil means.
Yeah. I also like, because that would lend itself to this bard showing up in different cities of this country.
Yeah.
To where you just happen to run across him again. If your players don't know that he's up to something bad in these two cities, maybe in that third one.
Yeah, and that way we still get that kind of like, almost like body trail, but more like a city trail of destabilization.
And that would also kind of help with the folk hero aspect of a bard.
Yes.
To where like the whole country knows who this is.
And
Because of their performances, but the underlying, the whole country knows who this is.
and
maybe.
most immediately, it doesn't appear like they're getting anything out of it. They're just coming to a town. Soon after they leave, suddenly leaders are replaced,
Yeah.
but they're not outwardly benefiting.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be immediate. It could be months down the line, so it doesn't even, no
So it
one
doesn't
knows
connect
how-
to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They could probably de-seat all of these towns and nobles with elves eventually. Or that could be just one of the trails that the players pick up on. Notably, all of these humans have been replaced by elves as they go along. So that is their motivation, essentially, just to restore elven lands in their eyes. I'm trying to think of ways for the bard to manipulate the party.
Oh, gotcha. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. So that they can fully appreciate later down the line how charismatic and how manipulative this person is.
That might have to depend on city by city and what's going on. Because it could be... Because it could be something simple as the bard saying, oh, someone's trying to kill me. Could you guys help me out and track them down?
Yes, and
Well, they might not have actually been trying to kill that bard, but well, now the party's going to go kill them because they like the bard so much. They kill him, bard goes scot-free.
or there, like you were saying, there is somebody who figured it out and was sending an assassin after them.
Yeah.
I also think that maybe there's this fun idea of, hey, I'm a bard. I was playing at the palace the other night. I left something in there. It's one of my instruments. I need to get it back, and they're not letting me in. And then you can kind of play on that idea of hoity-toity, noble dicks, essentially. And immediately the party's probably going to be on the bard's side. And the bard goes in with them, disappears for maybe like a second to grab some like state secrets out of his,
Oh yeah,
out of his
he
safe.
just went invisible just for in case a battle erupted or something. Or
Right. I
No,
thought I
he
heard
gone.
something. Yeah. But probably able to persuade them.
yeah,
And slowly down the line, the party could probably like actually glean insights of something is fishy here. As the bard just kind of keeps recruiting them almost like, you guys can get things done. I appreciate this.
something that could be spread around the different cities if he's not exactly well known throughout the countryside. If he has a different story, or like a different backstory in each city to kind of keep
okay.
things fresh.
So anytime they dig into him
Yeah,
or them.
yeah, like so. I guess in the tavern could mention how, he plays in memory of his family that he lost in a war.
Yeah.
In the next town, it's
And you can also
oh
play
yeah,
on,
his daughter is right over there, and like, well, I thought he lost his daughter, and
you can also play on that androgynous
Their
side
daughter.
where people don't know their
Oh,
gender.
that's fair. They could,
Like, so some towns say he, some towns say she, just to mix things up a little bit.
that's good.
I feel like this is definitely one of those villains that mileage may vary
Yeah.
depending on the party. Unlike the barbarian we did last time,
Which was more or less kind of a one shot. This is something.
depending on how you play it. But yeah, you can throw it at any party it'll almost certainly stick.
Yep.
This one, I'd say if they're interested in political intrigue, this is something that can go on in the background for session after session after session while they're tackling a main quest.
Yep.
All right, that's it. That's our bard. If you want, we're going to make a playlist with all of the villains. Right now, it's just the barbarian, the bard. So far, we're going through alphabetically, but we'll put a link to the playlist at the end of the video and a write-up for this character in the description with a link to our site where you can peruse both them and the build for the barbarian.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you next time.